All right, well, we have officially gone live. I would like to welcome you to this week's episode of Midweek Workshop Talk. My name is James, and you can find me on YouTube. My link is in the little bar underneath my beautiful face. We'll go through the line. I'll start with Tommy. Tommy G, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us where we can find you at.
Yeah, my name's Tommy Gonzalez. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all under Tommy G Workshop.
All right, and then we got a new one this week, Moy. Go ahead and tell us where we can find you at.
Hi, how's everyone doing? Moy Perez, you can find me on YouTube, Facebook, under Moy Perez Woodshop.
All right, next we got Donald.
Howdy, howdy. My name's Donald Matthews. My YouTube channel is Donald Vlogifies Woodshop. Got a website, redneckknowhow.com, and all my Instagram and Facebook's on my YouTube channel.
All right, and then Chris is with us, but he's not with us. I'll go ahead and tell you where you can find him at. Chris Cute is out of the room at the moment, but you can find him on YouTube under Chris Cute. Make the first cut. Go check out his stuff. Charles, you're next.
Howdy. That was a old direction. Anyway, my name is Charles Deering. Website is woodenvisions.com. Go to the links section. You should see all my social media.
All right, and following up, I'm sorry, did I cut you off?
No, I was just going to say I forgot my Dr. Pepper, so I'll be right back.
And then finishing it out, we got Braxton over there. Go ahead and tell us where we can find you at, Braxton.
There we go. I think I'm not muted now. So yeah, my name is Braxton Worthland. You can find me on YouTube under Braxton Worthland, and also website is under construction, but it's up right now, so there's a few things on it. Just braxtonworthland.com.
All right. Well, again, my name is James. I'd like to welcome all of you. We got a couple in the chat section. We got old Dave over there. Hello, Dave. Hope you're having a great night. And we got Minus D9. I forget your name. You told me before. If you'll go ahead and tell me again, I'll give you a proper hello. Go ahead and apologize for last week for not making it. I had Michael Murray from Modern Mike's Workshop host the show for us, and I was at a graduation ceremony, and so he held it down for us. He did a good job, and I appreciate all of y'all that have watched. And there we go. Hey Dutch, how are you doing? Hope you're having a great night. All right, a couple of topics that we're going to talk about tonight. I was talking with the guys before. Is a big one here lately has been trolls on the YouTube machine and Facebook machine and Instagram and all that and whatnot. What are your thoughts on this topic, guys? What do you think about the trolls on the YouTube machine?
I haven't personally had any, but I think they're doing it for attention. I mean, that's really the gist of it for me, but luckily I haven't had to deal with any yet. Or that, or they're just moody, you know, the ones that'll totally slam you for how you did something. Somebody's got some major background noise. Sorry, Braxton. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, sometimes they'll just, if they disagree with you, they'll do it in a rude way, and that's what makes them a troll, in my opinion. But to me, a total troll, okay, I did have a troll once. It was on a live show, and the comments, they say, God, you're retarded. You know, stupid stuff like that. They just do it for the rise. If you delete them or ignore them, then they don't get what they want.
Yeah, I haven't had to. Okay, sorry, I was saying I haven't had to deal with too many trolls either. But I think even aside from just looking for attention or trying to get a rise out of you, it might be some people who are kind of, you know-it-all people. You know, oh, this is not how you do it. Well, the way I do it is right, and you don't know what you're doing. You're showing people how to do it the wrong way. So they want to get in there and they want to tell you how it's done, and they do it in a way that's not really productive or not like constructive criticism, more of in a negative way.
No,
whether they realize it or not.
I agree with Braxton because and you know what, I've never really had a lot of trolls on my channel, but the majority of the people that I see that do troll channels that do exactly what Braxton was talking about are doing the same thing. What they're trying to do is they're trying to puff their chest out and tell you how they know how to do something and how you are being an idiot and blah 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 all the way down the line. If you want to pay attention to it and that's what your personality wants to do, then you go right ahead. But you know what? If somebody does that to me, I'm going to look at them and just go, you know what? Okay, fine. And I'll just say, thanks for subscribing. I love you. Bye-bye. And I'm not going to worry about it because these guys are just trying to make themselves out to be something more than they really are. I wouldn't worry about it.
So even if they dog you, the benefit is they watch the video. It counts as a view. Sorry, go ahead, Donald. I know you're about to talk.
Yeah, I've only had a couple that actually made comments, and when they do it, you can tell they either read a book and think they know something, or ran to Wikipedia real quick just to find something to do it. I was talking to Chris earlier about a video I made telling people, you may not see me do it, but you need to wear eye protection and dust mask, because I'm working with treated wood and it's got arsenic and all sorts of chemicals in it, and it's like, you're misinforming people. They haven't used arsenic since 2003. Yeah, but people use reclaimed wood. You're missing the point.
Hello.
But other than that, I've got one person. There's one person out there that does not like my videos and keeps on thumbs down in them.
Oh, that'll grow.
I'm like, keep on, buddy. You just give me interaction.
I want to tell you right now about the thumbs down. If you put out a video and shortly after you put it out and you get a thumbs down, 9 times out of 10 it's Patrick.
I wasn't gonna name names, but I think he has a million aliases, and I late at night I'll get 6 thumbs downs in a row almost every video. I said, well, Patrick's awake.
And I don't think he does it to be real mean. He just does it to be different and let you know, hey, I'm watching this. So
to humble you.
Positive. I take it as a thumbs up.
Yeah, and it counts as a view.
He probably knows that even whether it's a thumbs up or thumbs down, it's nothing negative. It's showing interaction on your video.
Yeah.
So
Actually, it doesn't count as a view because they can thumbs down it without even watching it. But I don't think Moy or Tommy has gotten to go, so I'll try to shut up.
Yeah, my thing on a thumbs up or thumbs down, I don't care about it because that's just somebody's opinion. I mean, they might not like a certain way I did something or something like that. So a thumbs up, thumbs down, I don't mind the thumbs down. What I do mind is the unproductive, the comments that are just out there just to be negative and they didn't share any way how to make this better. It's like, that's a troll to me. Somebody's just putting you down just because. I mean, just to have it out there.
Yeah, it's like, all right, if you have a better way of doing it and you've done it before,
sure.
If you tell me how to do it, then do me a favor. Include the link that I can click on to watch you do it better than I just. Yeah. Otherwise, STFU. I'm sorry.
I don't think any of us mind somebody comes along in the comments that's got a creative suggestion or something like that. Don't do it like this. Try this. I got no problem with that. But if you're going to be a butt about it, I mean.
I don't lose sleep over it, but I would like to see that if you thumbs down somebody, you have to give a reason. I'd love to know the reason. I just don't like you. I do it to every video you do.
Well, I just think that half the time I get thumbs downs on my videos are all my friends just going, I'm just going to screw with Chris.
Yeah. Don't want them to get too big-headed.
No, well, seriously, guys, I think I uploaded like a 7-minute video once, and as soon as I uploaded it, I went back and went to my channel to make sure that it was actually there because I wanted to preview it to make sure that it was still up and it was good. And I was about a minute into the video, and I looked, and it was a thumbs down already. And the guy had not even seen, or the girl, whoever it was, had not even seen the video. And so that's how seriously you should take those thumbs up and thumbs down. It's just somebody's either messing with you or just doesn't like you. So I mean, do you really want to care about that? No. If I got 56 thumbs up and 3 down, I'm winning. I
noticed that on that one I uploaded the other day. I had just published it and went over there to do the same thing you were, and it already had the thumbs down. I'm like, ain't no way. I ain't had time to watch it yet. And I knew it was there.
Now, I know we mentioned Patrick, but I want to say that I know we're all being lighthearted about it. He is a good guy, so if anybody, we're referring to Patrick's workshop. He's a great guy.
Patrick is a great guy.
Yeah.
He's very helpful and
Yeah, he's fun. He'll do that just to put you on your toes. But I don't even know him doing it. It's just fun to accuse him.
Yeah, I will say this. I've talked to Patrick before, and I legitimately don't think he would ever thumbs down any of his friends' videos, even for a joke. So yeah. I don't think it's him who's doing it.
Well,
that worries me then.
I don't know. He might do Nick Ferris, because they go at it sometimes.
Patrick, if you're watching, we love you, but you're guilty by assumption. Because we know you.
Or come on in and defend yourselves. G-rated, of course.
And possibly guilty by consumption.
We got some opinions over in the comment section. Rob Harrod, he said makers as artists will always have to deal with this, and I think that's very true. And then Wardley, I hope I pronounced that right, from OG Timbercraft, I think they do it to get under your skin. You just have to ignore them. You know, that's perfect advice. A lot of people out there just want to rile you up, get you going, and try to discourage you for whatever reason that they have, whether it's their mindset or that's just they're being pathetic or whatever it is. But you just gotta ignore them and just take it with a grain of salt and keep on making what you're doing.
See,
you know, if
that's
you're not
where my
doing it for yourself,
personality.
you're doing it for wrong reasons.
That's where my personality gets me into trouble, because it's not that it hurts my feelings, but I've got that personality. Okay, let's play a game. I'll talk back and forth with you.
I've done that once with somebody, and it actually started getting under my skin, so I had to delete the comments. I was like, I'm just going to get pissed.
They don't know how to handle it if you kill them with kindness. They actually, I've made friends with a couple trolls because I didn't react in the way they wanted me to, and we ended up just having a civilized conversation.
Well, I mean, it's like that one I was telling you about. I mean, my comment was, okay, thank you for the information. Thanks for watching.
Well, Charles, I didn't know you were going to announce to everybody how you and I met. I mean, that's
you funny. I don't remember how we met, but I remember I used to always say how I loved your radio voice. It's just, you know, it's natural.
Yeah. All right.
Sorry. He tried to mute me, but he doesn't know how on the new one.
I think he muted himself.
Yeah, he did. He probably didn't want to get beeped off.
All right, you know, talked a little bit about the trolls. Let's move into some more meat and potatoes here. That's a little fun cut-up section there. What do you guys got going on? Starting with you, Tommy G. What you got going on in the workshop this week?
I'm going to be upgrading the X-Carve and putting some videos out on that soon. I'm also doing the router table with a router lift kind of integrated into my table saw, so I'll be putting that out. And I also have a shelf that I have to do for a buddy for his mother-in-law and sister passed away, so he wants shells for those urns, so I'll be doing that for him and putting out a video on those.
Be looking forward to that. That tap handle that you had put out on Facebook, that thing's looking pretty awesome.
Yeah, if you guys haven't checked it out, check out the Facebook Tommy G Workshop. I just did quite a few pins, and then that tap handle turned out real nice.
Your pins are turning out awesome too. The colors you have for the teams that you're using, they're just turning out beautiful. You're doing awesome on that.
Yeah, a lot of the team blanks that I got were from NB Workshop, NB Woodworks from Zach Higgins. He's got a lot of good pen blanks, and he does an awesome job at. He's got that formula down to a science. He makes some good blanks.
Well, that's good to know. Now we know where to go. All right, well, Moy, what you got going on this week? I saw you put out a lumber plywood cart video here recently.
I just finished that up a couple of weeks ago, and I'm just now getting to the edit. So I got part 1 done, and hopefully I finish the edit on part 2, and that'll be the final. Hopefully posted next week. After that, I thought I was going to get into a miter saw station, but I saw Harbor Freight had the dust collector, the 2 horsepower, 70-gallon for $169. So you throw in that 25% off coupon, it dropped it down out the door. I just bought it today, $140. Can't beat that.
Yeah, that's a pretty good deal.
So I might be building a shed for it because I want to place it outside. I don't want to take any shop space away from here. So that might be jumping to the top of the list since I have it now.
Yeah, that's why I redesigned mine too, because it was taking up too much shop space. The thing's a little bit big, but if you get it outside or break it down, it's pretty good. It's not a bad dust collector. It works pretty good.
No, for that price, I mean, I've never seen it that low. 169 plus the coupon. That's a pretty good deal.
I think it is too. Just shoot it right out the window, just like old Tommy. All right, Donald, what you got going on this week?
Well, I've been working on that carved box. I'm finishing it up. I'm working on putting the top coat on it now, and I'm using the general finishes that I won from the birdhouse competition. Had never tried it before. Yeah, the Armour-Sue.
That stuff's nice.
I had never used it before, and I'm liking that. There's a whole world of difference between that and Minwax.
First time I used it, I was the same way. I was like, wow, this is a great finish.
So hopefully I have the finishing up it by the weekend. Then after that, I ain't exactly sure what I'm going to do.
Well, it's turned out awesome. If you haven't seen it, head on over to Donald's Facebook. He's got plenty of pictures on there and his videos, and it's turned out awesome.
Yeah, that's a whole long series on that one.
Well, Chris, you're next. What do you got going on this week?
Myself?
Yeah.
I'll pose a question to you. We're all kind of sort of woodworkers here. If somebody knows that you're a woodworker and they aren't, what is the first thing they ask you to make for them?
Ooh, that's a hard question.
Oh no, think simple, think basic, think
A cutting board.
Oh, hello, Braxton. Yeah, my entire family is wanting those for Christmas, and so that is what I'm doing, and that's my video on that will be out sometime next week. And am I happy about it? Not really, but you know what? It's Christmas, and it's not going to be an exciting video, but you know, you got to make them, you got to give them, and so that's what I'm doing.
Hey, Chris, I need a cutting board, man.
No, no, Don. I made 8 of these friggin' things. I don't need to make a 9th one. Thank you.
Hey, Chris, are you making the same type with the log or branches?
That's
No,
what I was going to ask, too.
You know, Moy, that's a great idea, and I wanted to do that, but when I harvested the lumber to do that, because that was my original intention,
Right.
it was too wet, and it's still too wet for me to do it. So I ended up having to buy some oak and some maple and make them that way, because I really did want to do the end grain cutting boards for everybody that way.
Those turned out really, really cool.
And I will be doing that in the future again, but I don't know if I'll do a video on it, but I will be doing those in the future, yeah. Thanks, I appreciate that.
Yeah, those turned out pretty awesome. That was one of the first couple of videos I saw from you, Chris, and I was just like, you know, that's a great idea.
Hey, it's cheap. It's free. As long as the lumber is dry and you can do it and you can mill it, then you're good.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, Charles, what do you got going on this week?
I have 5 more cuts. I tried to finish them right before the show. I didn't quite make it. Working on a portrait of, I don't know if anybody's familiar with Iron Maiden, but they have a character called Eddie, and I'm doing a wooden version of the album cover with him holding the hatchet. And 5 more cuts, and it'll be done. Then I'll do a backer, and boom, either tonight or tomorrow morning. Go to Charles Daring Scroll, and you'll get to see it. Yay!
Not gonna give us a sneak preview on the show tonight?
Well, I guess I could.
And Charles, I hope you don't mind if I embarrass you, but that is freaking. I'm trying to be PG here. What you're doing is absolutely impressive. I mean, I can't tell you how cool that project you're looking at right now actually is. That is just awesome.
Well, as Braxton would say, well, thank you, sir.
Well, no, you're welcome, but brother, you've got some. I would not have the patience or the time or the talent to do what you do, and I am in awe. I'll shut up now.
Well, just the drawing on Eddie for the artwork for the album covers is rough, and then trying to cut it in wood, you the man.
Thank y'all, fellas. I'm gonna go get it, but I have it taped together because I'm double stacking it, so it'll take me a little bit to untape it. But I will be right back, and I'll show it to you.
All right, well, in the meantime, we'll go ahead and head over to Braxton. And Braxton, you go ahead and tell us what you got going on this week.
Well, I got a bunch of stuff going on. I'm trying to finish up some shelves that have been plaguing me for a while that are built out of a old wine barrel. So I'm going to absolutely get those done by the end of the week. No ifs, ands, or buts. They will be done by the end of the week. And then also working on a video that I want to have. Hopefully I'm going to finish that video up tonight, have it released late tonight or early tomorrow on some quick gift ideas for people in your life for the holidays. And then after that, I'd like to get a couple more videos out before Christmas. Just kind of try to bombard everybody with some cool gift ideas and things I could build for holiday gifts.
Well, we'll be looking forward to that. Everybody loves to get gift ideas. That seems to be a good topic. Charles, you ready to debut Eddie?
I got a lot of tape to take off. Well, I'll show you the tape on it because the way I design my stuff is so detailed that it's going to have a lot of flimsy areas until it's glued to a backer, but I'll go ahead and show it to you anyway. Let me back my camera up.
So would you look at that? That thing's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, that is rad.
That is badass. I hope you don't mind me saying that. That is just awesome work, Charles.
I appreciate it.
Is that for somebody right now, or is that going to be up for sale? Or
I have. That's why I'm double stacking it, because something this detailed I hate to make more than once. But
gotcha.
The first one is spoken for because I owe it to somebody, but the one below it will be for sale.
Nice. I might have a buyer in mind.
Sweet.
You let me know when you're done and the price on that thing, and I'll get you in contact with them.
You let me know their budget, I'll double it, by God.
Yeah.
I'm running a special. If you buy one, I'll let you buy another one.
Nice. I like it. I like the sound of that.
That is freaking awesome, buddy.
Call it the Deering Special.
Boom, boom. Sorry, that was stupid. Thank you, guys. Boom, boom.
And if you're into scroll sawing, go on ahead and head over to Charles's website. He's got some pretty awesome patterns out there. When he speaks about detail, he really doesn't put the detail in the word detail. There are
I just, when I first got into scrolling, I didn't like how, no offense to the designers of the time, but I didn't like how simple the designs were. I'm into realism. And now I hate myself when I'm working on something detailed, but when I'm done, it's kind of worth it, I guess. But I can't even build a dang picture frame. It takes me all day, so I guess you just got to have a knack for it.
Y'all have some really good projects coming along this week. Real impressed with everybody. Sounds good. Can't wait to see all those videos come to light. Let everybody see that.
What do you have going, James?
Yeah, what about you, James? We haven't heard from you.
Well, this week I actually, you know what? y'all go ahead and talk for just a minute. I'll be right back. I'm going to get this project because to talk about it, you won't understand it. I have to show it to you, so I'll be right back.
All right.
I think I saw some pictures of that the other night.
I hope it's not a sex toy. That would offend me.
Well, so what about the price of beans in China? I mean, come on, really.
I didn't understand what you meant, but okay, I'll pretend I did.
I actually thought about when I start practicing turning, doing one of those for a friend of mine, just for the simple fact that she don't think I will.
Oh, that. Well, that's one project where sanding is extremely important. I'm not going to go into any further detail because we're a family show.
Well, when we were discussing it, she was picking on me, and I told her about making her a splintery one. So
We'll probably no longer be allowed on the show. I've known you folks.
No time.
We kind of got the.
Darn, we were about ready to take over, James. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, Tommy was being.
Charles did it.
Tommy was being very foul-mouthed. I can't. I almost had to plug my ears.
Especially as much as I talk.
Yeah.
Well, I have a daughter, and she turned 2 in May, so I've been trying to figure out something to make for her as young as she is that she will appreciate. And I came up with an idea. It's real simple, but I made her this box, and her name's Sadie Joe, and I call her Princess SJ. And this box is made out of walnut, and it's got maple splines in it, brass hardware on it. The back's it's made out of maple. But the idea for the box is to call it the fancy box. And I can tell her, hey, go get your fancy box, at bedtime. So go get the fancy box. And then when she opens it up, it has her book in it that I got her for Christmas, and we can read the bedtime stories, and I can put her other little things in here too for other little surprises and stuff like that. So that's what I made this week.
That's a gorgeous box.
That's
Nice.
Yeah, that turned out great. That's a good idea too. Kids love boxes and stuff like that, and putting things in it. At least my son does anyway. He's, if you give him anything, a bag or a box or whatever, and he'll stuff it full of all his treasures.
Oh, sure. And
I used to have a little cigar box for the same thing. I wish somebody would have made me a wooden one.
But, I don't get to see her often being in El Paso. She's in Alabama. So hopefully during the holidays I can go home, and the time that I have with her, we can use this a couple of times. And I want to see how she reacts with it. And I try to make it kid friendly, so I put a salad bowl finish on it so it won't be, I guess, toxic if she decided to eat it or whatever.
Sorry. I just thought of a kid eating on a box.
Surprise, kids! I don't know. They're adventurous, and they want to know what everything tastes like, and I don't know. They're eating and everything. It's nasty.
Well, I'll throw some treated wood in some of the things I make, but if I know it's going to be for a kid, I don't do it because any child under 5 years old, it's going to wind up in their mouth.
I was playing around with some of the finishes I had, and I got a glaze from Sherwood made by Sherwin-Williams. It's a Van Dyke Brown, and the walnut, it really brought out the grain in it. And I was just testing it and seeing what it looked like. I liked it, and then I sat there and thought about it. I said, as soon as I put this kind of finish on there, and probably spray it with some kind of clear, whether it be lacquer or whatever else, she's gonna eat it, and next thing I know, we're at the hospital because she done swallowed a big chunk of walnut covered in that stuff, and we're trying to get her stomach pumped. So, no, we're not gonna do that.
That escalated quickly. No, it's a gorgeous box. I love I like the grain on it too.
And it didn't take a whole lot of walnut. I still had some 8/4 blank left over, cut in 2x2 sections, and that's really what I made it out of. Is 3 pieces of that, maybe about 16, 18 inches long. So kind of pieced it together.
I do that with my kids when I'm making. Well, when they were younger, I was making something for them or something like that. I'd start doing it, and I'd get to thinking about what I was like when I was that age, and I was like, this could be a bad idea. Maybe we should go another route.
A little side note, Mighty Mike, Michael Murray, he just messaged on the Facebook machine. He's not gonna make it tonight, but he wanted to let everybody know. Last week he had spoke about the channel pass, putting it out, that his computer had crashed during the week or the weekend, and he wasn't able to put it out. So he's been working on that, and it should be out tonight or tomorrow, he hopes.
I had lost track of who had it where. The last one I saw was Sylvana Farms.
Well, after Sylvana, it went to Shane at Shane's Hobby Shop, and then it went to Chris. Who did it go after that?
Paul Mayette, right?
Shannon Vargo had it last night. He did what was it? He called it a passiversary. I love that guy. He's hilarious. Shannon is freaking great.
Yeah.
Because he did the 10th one, so he said it must be a passiversary, and so he did it with cupcakes and all kinds of stuff. It was great.
It was Passover.
Yeah, it's so funny. I'm just so happy that whole friggin' idea has gone on 10 times. I mean, props to Braxton for doing it after me, and then everybody else who's followed. I just think that's great.
Looks like I got a lot of catching up to do on it.
Oh yeah. Well, whatever, Charles. I mean,
Well, you said you had a playlist of it somewhere, right?
There is a playlist on my channel, but you can put a playlist on yours. I don't care.
Well, I mean, I just wanted to locate the whole list so I didn't have to search all over the internet. But.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, there's a playlist on my channel. If you want to look at it, then there's a playlist of all the ones that have been done before. But there's been some great people that have been exposed. Because I've obviously followed it. And I saw Donald was featured on one. Obviously Braxton's been featured on one. Moy, I think, needs to get featured on one as well, because Moy does some great work. And so does Sammy G. I mean, everybody here should get some love, and that was kind of the whole idea when we talked about it. I mean, Braxton and I, and maybe Braxton will unmute himself and talk to me about it for a second. But when I was thinking about this idea, Braxton is the guy I was actually talking to about it. I wanted to know, what his interest was and if he thought it was cool or not. And he was like, yeah, he thought it was a great idea. He said, fucking do it. So that's why excuse my French, James, I'm sorry. But he was because I immediately thought of Braxton, and you know what? And I don't want to say I don't know why, but I kind of do know why, because I know Braxton's a good dude, and I knew that he would take what I had to what my idea was about, and he would do the same thing I wanted to do with it, and so I wanted to give it to him, and then wherever it went after him was where it went.
But definitely a good idea, but I mean the whole premise of relative. When I say no-namers, I don't mean that derogatorily. I mean people that people don't know about. Like, if I didn't know Braxton, I wouldn't have seen his stuff, and the Hangouts are good for that too. But
exposing people to content that they otherwise may not have found on their own, or not for quite some time. Right,
and the idea came from my background in broadcasting. It was just a matter of helping out the little guys, because there's and it had to do with musicians. That's kind of where I grabbed it from, because there are a lot of, I don't know how familiar you guys are with the music industry, but there are a lot of no-name musicians out there that have a ton of friggin' talent. But all they really need is a radio station to pick up their song and play it in order to succeed. And so I was thinking the same kind of scenario worked for YouTube. There's a lot of really nice, creative, and really talented guys out there that nobody knows about. And so if you just kind of pick them up and put them on the channel and play their stuff, maybe people will learn from it, and they'll go, and then they'll succeed. But after that, it's up to them to do with whatever you give them. But
Sai did mine. I'm grateful to her for that. She likes my dancing.
Yeah. And I was honestly hoping it would up spiral. I was hoping that some of the bigger channels would start picking it up and then giving love down lower, and because it was kind of a, here's where I am with 600 subscribers. I'm going to talk about guys that have 400 subscribers and try to pull them up to where I am.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping it would up spiral to the guys that have 30,000 subscribers, they'd look down and go, "This guy, I love this guy. He's only got 600. I want to feature him," and then bring him up a little bit. I was hoping that's the way it would work. It may still. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
Only time will tell. That's just.
Yeah. Well, it's just gonna be, people gotta be willing to do it or not. That's all.
Well, there's one thing I've noticed, that the more subscribers you get and the more comments you get, the less time you get. So you kind of get busy out there.
Well, yeah, when you're out there carving on a box all day. Beautiful work.
Yep.
Beautiful work. I just couldn't do it. That's just too much time involved.
That, like I said, that one went a little bit further than I was expecting to. But that's how a lot of stuff happens with me. I get in there, I get a plan, and it's never quite good enough, so I do a little bit more, and the next thing you know, I've spent 15 years on a box.
Well, it's a good time to bring something else up. If you have one of them fancy machines from Dave, you could just plug it into your computer and then set it to go.
If you can figure out the programs, which I suck at.
I think they have people that'll help you out with that.
Yeah, but I got to be able to comprehend it, and that's where the the journey stops.
That's the great thing about YouTube. There's always a tutorial.
Yes.
You might understand. It might be in German, and you might not understand it, but you can watch what he's doing with the mouse.
What little bit I've done, Tommy G had a lot to do with teaching me. My God, I am dumber than a mud brick sometimes. I just cannot grasp things.
But even if you couldn't get the software, that gives you more time in the shop to play around. And I don't know if y'all put it in the time to look into that new one that Dave's put out. And I'll go ahead and speak a little bit about that. But Garage Works CNC. It's Garage spelled normal, WORX CNC. And he has a YouTube channel on it, and I watched it and looked into it and talked to him about it. And his platform seems like it's a real solid platform. Like it's one that you're going to buy, and then you're not going to buy one again.
Yeah, and he has plans. I believe he's selling the plans to make your own CNC, but
he's selling the ones for the Sidewinder CNC.
Oh.
But this new one he has is made out of metal, and it's got a little bit higher end parts there, and it's something that he manufactures and you buy in kits. He actually said in the comment section, "I can train anyone, even you, Charles."
I would just say build it for me and send it to me, but that would cost money, and I don't have any of that.
If I was going to get into one, his would be the one I'd go with.
Yeah.
Because you can look at it and tell that it's just built well.
So that's going to go from "Where's my sister" to "Even you, Charles."
Where's my beautiful sister?
Yeah.
I expect you to say, "Where's my cousin, Charles?"
With my sister. Sorry, James. Go ahead.
And Uncle Bob.
Platform, he had certain sizes available, and I'm pretty sure if you contacted him, he could build you a kit specifically for you. It seems like he's got it set up that way. Just the only way you find out is just to talk with him himself.
Yeah.
So.
And how can we reach him, James?
I don't know, Dave. Tell me how to reach you.
Dave's not here.
Google search Dave Gatton CNC. I'm pretty sure it'll look up.
Yeah, his last name is spelled Gatton.
You can find him
at woodenvisions.com. Sorry. See what I did there? Yeah, I really need to stop coming to these things. I'm going to get bored.
Another topic that I had on mind for tonight is if you had a budget of whatever amount you needed to buy a specific tool, what is your dream tool to be able to afford?
Well, for me, it's three things. Saw stop, table saw, a surface planer, and a joiner.
Do you have any particular brand and model, or?
Well, the SawStop is the brand, but on the model of the other two, I have no idea. I just wish I had them.
A shop big enough to move around in.
That's a tough question, James. I mean, repeat it if you don't mind. Could you repeat the question real quick?
Yeah, the question was, if you had a budget, a certain amount, you know, that you didn't have to worry about, say $20,000 given to you, and you know, just free, and you've had a dream tool within that budget in mind for a while. What was that tool that you had in mind to buy? You know, if somebody just gave you the money to get it that you couldn't otherwise get, what would be like a dream tool?
Well, you know, if I had that much money, I would be buying several tools. I would never invest that much money into a single tool.
Yeah.
But while I appreciate SawStop and take it from a guy who's run his thumb through a freaking tabletop before, I understand the value of a SawStop. I just think that it's overpriced. I would probably buy myself a nice Grizzly cabinet saw. And if I had money left over, I would definitely buy a lathe, and I would also definitely buy a welder, because I'd like to get into some metal work. But if you gave me 20 grand, my shop would look totally different tomorrow. I just don't have 20 grand to put in my shop. That's all.
What kind of welder would you get? You know, MIG? TIG?
No, I'd buy a gas MIG welder. I wouldn't buy a flux core. I'd buy a MIG.
Yeah, don't waste your money on that.
Yeah, no, there's no point.
I'm looking at mine right now. I'm just shaking my
And you know what? I learned doing metal work on a stick welder, and a stick welder is actually a lot harder to learn than a MIG welder is, in order to get a good bead.
It's probably the easiest process that you can get into.
Yeah.
I'd like to have a plasma cutter, but those ain't cheap either.
I'd like to have a CNC plasma cutter.
Well, that too, yeah.
There you go.
Dave,
What?
we're going to produce the first Dave Gatton CNC plasma cutting machine. We need that out.
I'll be your guinea pig, Dave, if you're listening. Contact me for my address.
But you know,
Yeah.
with arc welding, we were talking about that. You know, one of the complications there is amperage. You know, your stick wants to burn to the metal sometimes and stick. You also lose your consumable, your rod. So you got so many variables you got coming through. But once you understand the art of arc welding, everything else is like a walk in the park there. So you know, I would tell anybody, if they go out and tinker around with any kind of welder, play with an arc welder. You know, get some a little bit thicker material. That way you're not burning through it. But play with an arc welder, and then go from there. You'll really understand a lot.
Yeah, well, yeah, I agree with you, James. Because I mean, I learned on an arc welder, and it was, but it's incredibly hard to get it. But once you do get it, then you're right. You can step down and do pretty much anything after that. It's just if you're just somebody in a garage that's looking to do some quick welding, I don't know that I would go with an arc welder. I would probably suggest go ahead and do a MIG welder if that's all you want to do and that's all you ever want to do. Then go ahead and do it.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, as cheap as they are, the flux wire, they serve their purpose. But if you want a simple machine, get you a gas shielded MIG wire welder, and you will not regret it. And don't get the one that runs off of 115 household volts. Just go ahead and get you one that runs on the 240. You got your ampere setting there. That way you're more flexible in the materials that you're going to work on.
Well, I have a Millermatic XP130, little MIG with a bottle of gas and stuff, and it runs off 110. And I've welded 3/8 plate with that thing in single pass. So even those little boxes, they'll get you where you need to be, especially if it's just in the garage. You know, you'll rarely have to weld something that thick in your, just as a household thing if you're making furniture or whatever. This was a trailer that I was working on, and that's the only time I've ever welded that thick. Aside from that, it'd be, maybe 1/4 inch plate or 3/16 at the most. Usually it's some 095 tubing or 120 wall tubing that I'm welding up for frames for stools or coffee tables or whatever.
Yeah.
But even the 110 ones will do the job. But I agree at 220, if you've got the ability to do that, 220 would be definitely a better way to go.
Well, the run time on them is longer too. A lot of those machines are not only larger, but they have a longer run time and rest time ratio, if that makes sense, if you know what I'm talking about.
The duty cycle.
Yeah, there we go. That's the word I was looking for. So, well, back on topic, who else has a dream tool that they could buy tomorrow if they had the money to buy it? They would.
Actually, with me, if I had the place large enough to put it at, it would be like an 8 or 10 inch joiner and a planer. Because I've got a 4 inch on that Shopsmith joiner, and I love it to death, but always having to cut wood down within 4 inches to be able to join it kind of rough.
Yeah, I'd go with a big joiner, like a 12-inch Grizzly joiner, or a Powermatic, the 3520B lathe. I want a big, huge lathe that I got to bring in there on a forklift and drop down. Well, it's not going to move. Big, powerful lathe.
That's just it. It's like I'm getting ready to build a table for my daughter as soon as I get around to it. And I'm going with that Jay Bates plan, the one that he did with his little table that he did, and just kind of making it wider. And having that width to be able to pass those boards over and join them would be miraculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a 6-inch right now, and it's just the tabletop one. And I'll try to run 8-quarter white oak down that thing that's 4 or 5 feet long, and you just can't keep it steady and straight. It's basically, it doesn't. I've exceeded its abilities, and I need something bigger. It works great for little stuff, when I build boxes or something like that. But anything longer than the beds, and it's not staying straight.
Well, that's just like with a 4-inch. For doing stuff like I've been doing with the boxes and stuff, it works great. But if I want to go do something bigger, it ain't going to be so great.
Yeah. What about Moy?
Well, for me, it's a complicated question because I'm looking around my shop right now. There's not one tool in here that's worth more than $150. So the thing that I hate most is probably my table saw. So that would probably be the first thing I'd buy. But like Chris said, I would never spend that amount of money, $3,000 on one tool. If somebody said, "Here's $3,000, buy the tool that you want," I'd go with like a Grizzly, like Tommy got the what is it, 705, 715?
Yeah, the 7.
I'd go something like that and get an 8-inch a joiner with a spiral cutter on it. That's what I would do.
I think that's a tool that gets overlooked a lot is the joiner.
I have a 6-inch Porter cable right now, benchtop, and just like Braxton was saying, and you take a long board and you try to run it through there. There's no way you could hold it steady. It's too small. The blades, I mean, you run a couple pieces through there, you're looking at new blades. You really can't sharpen those, so.
Yeah, having something with a helical head would be awesome.
That'd be awesome.
If you nick one blade, you just turn it or change it or whatever.
Exactly.
Cute, awkward silence.
Trying to find the echo here. We got some feedback.
I actually think it's Moy.
Hang on, more.
What's it?
Yeah, the way to see it is when somebody talks, you watch the little green bar like an equalizer.
Yeah,
it'll bounce up and down on the one with an echo. No offense, Moy. It's just technology.
It's probably the cars passing by my house here.
But
Well,
if you don't mind, that brings up another topic. And I don't know if you're going to get into this or not. But I mean, we all watch the YouTube videos. We watch other people's shops, and I've seen some guys that have fantastic shops with Powermatic tools. They've got saw-stop table saws and things of that nature. Does that bother you guys? I mean, because I'll give you my opinion. My opinion on the whole, the Festool, the whole saw-stop, the whole deal with that whole thing is that, you know what? If that guy has it, you know what? He friggin' earned it. And if that's what he wanted, and he has it, then God love him. Why get so upset about somebody who has a very, very nice shop that, granted, I wish I could have, probably will never have, but what is the deal with the jealousy? Is the way I look at it. Why are people so freaking enamored with going, oh, well, you suck, blah, 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 because you have such nice tools? I mean, I just don't understand that.
yeah, I envy those guys, but I definitely don't. I'm not bitter towards anybody. I'm happy for them, but I do want to rethink what I said about the saw stop. I wanted that quality of a saw, but like you were saying, what Tommy has would work for me. Just anything right now, because if I have I don't mean to jump topics here, but if I have a whole sheet of plywood and try to cut it on my current contractor style table saw, I try to tip the whole saw over. That's why I want a big honking table saw, but I'll let y'all get back on topic.
I think a lot of people use that as an excuse. Well, I can't do that because I don't have this $5,000 equipment. Well, bull. You can. There's a way to do it. They did it 100 years ago when they didn't have 200 years ago when they didn't have any power tools. Yep. You just got to invest a little bit more time and skill into it.
Yeah, that's what sets you apart. Moy and I were actually talking about this the other night. That's what sets people apart. You know, is the person who has the ability to get that job done with their $150 table saw or whatever it is they have. They're not letting that limit them to what they can do. Using your tools as an excuse for not being able to complete something is bullshit. Pardon my French, James.
I mean, you can look at Paul Sellers just using hand tools, and he can put people to shame with his stuff.
Well, and Bryce and I totally agree with you. I just don't understand why people would, and well, if I have to mention names, I'll mention names. I don't understand why people would look at somebody like Mark Spagnola, the Wood Whisperer, and other people who obviously have a very high-end shop, a very top-end shop, and why they would look at that guy and all of a sudden have some kind of, they feel like, remember when the New Yankee Workshop used to be on television? And people used to respond to the New Yankee Workshop all the time going, well, Norm, yeah, you're great, but boy, if I had those tools you had, I could sure do the same things you do. Well, you know what? No, the answer is no. You can't. The tools aren't what makes the man. The man makes the tool. I don't understand the jealousy and negativity towards people that are looking at somebody who is well-equipped and has earned those tools that he has and is using them to show you how to do things, and why they get so upset about it. I just don't understand that.
I don't.
Like with Mark, I mean, he's been doing this. This is his living. That's why he is shaped up.
Yeah.
And he's had to go through the process of doing the same thing of using a less expensive, less good toy to build himself up to where he can buy that piece of equipment he wants. And I don't get the jealousy either.
I definitely don't get the jealousy, but there are only a handful of tools where the more expensive models are worth the price you pay, such as a scroll saw being one of them, because it's less likely to walk across your workbench or your floor, that kind of thing. But not every tool is dependent on the bigger the better. But I think there's only a few that are obviously the more expensive ones incorporate things that are worthy of a higher price tag, but not every one of them. I mean, I don't understand the jealousy at all. I mean, because that might be people that are kind of materialistic, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. I totally agree with you, Charles. I'm envious, obviously, of Wood Whisperer's shop. It's beautiful, and I'd love to have it, but I'm not jealous of it, and I don't need that quality of tools to accomplish the work I need to do, but it sure would be awesome to have them.
Yeah.
And granted, some of them tools are a little bit more accurate, may do a little bit better job, but if you put in the time in doing it with the lesser tools, you usually can get it done.
And then if you're able to get your hands on nicer stuff, you're going to appreciate it that much more because of the struggle that you went through to get to that point.
Well, yeah, I don't want to turn this into a Mark's promotion, but he has just, I don't know if you've seen his latest post on his webpage, but he's actually going to downsize. He's actually getting rid of a lot of his Festool products, and I think it has something to do with the fact that his affiliation with Festool has ended. But he wants to get down to using the DeWalts, the Makitas, the of the world, and just because I think he feels like the people that watch his videos are going to be able to relate to it more. And you know what? He's probably right, but I still don't, and I would defend him to this day for using the tools that he has. If you're able to have them, then God love you. I mean, why the hate? I just don't get it.
It seems like the big one is not really any specific person. It's a lot with Festool, period. I don't know why. I don't know if you guys seen Jay Bates' video where he talked about Festool. He said he got a bunch of haters commenting on his page. He said he's never seen so much, but I don't know why. I mean, yeah, it's high priced, and you get what you pay for, but
which I've actually had comments from the other end of the spectrum where people are like, "Why are you using that hand plane?" Well, I don't have the other one.
Because I won't
That's one thing that you never hear anyone say either. They'll complain all day long about how much you spent on your table saw, how much you spent on, whatever else, your Festool domino. I've never, ever seen anyone say, oh my God, you spent $600 on that Lee Nielsen hand plane, and all it does is one thing, or $80 on a one blue spruce chisel or something like that. I've never seen anybody complain about, Mark Spagnola's hand tools, because those things are expensive as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what I told her was, I use this hand plane. Like I said, I don't have the other one. Plus, when I do get the other one, if the power goes off, I know how to use this, so I can still keep on working.
Yeah. Well, think of it this way: if you master your craft, for lack of a better word, if you master your craft on a crappy tool and then you get a better tool, imagine what you can do with it. But I mean, it's definitely not a need. It's like Chris was saying. It's because I've had some, and I know I keep talking about scroll saws because that's the tool of my choice, but I've had ones that were just rickety, raggedy pieces of crap. But that's what I learned on, and without trying to sound arrogant, look at me now, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
That's one of the things. Chris may know a little bit about this. When you're learning to play guitar, a lot of times you start off with the lower end, and there's a gap between them strings, and it'll wear your hand out trying to use it. But by the time you learn all that and you get to Ibanez or a higher quality guitar and can use those, you wear one of those things out.
I'm still on the Mickey Mouse with the plastic strings, but I'll eventually work my way up.
Charles, I'm pitching you with a ukulele with plastic strings right now.
That's right. Go ahead. Okay, back to you, James.
On the subject of the hating on tools, it's just crazy. It's just jealousy at its finest. Human nature. I want what my neighbor has, kind of thing. And when they can't have it, they get upset.
I have a different opinion on that.
Go ahead, Moy.
I don't think it's. Sometimes it's jealousy, but I think it's easier for a person to accept. To say, oh, he has a SawStop, he has a Festool, and that's the only way he's able to do that. So I'm gonna bash on that tool because it's easier for me to accept that I can't do what he did on that tool.
Yep.
That's a good way to think.
That's my personal opinion. I might be wrong, but it's easier to say, oh, that's a crappy tool, I would never own that, rather than I'm gonna work my butt off and own that one day. You know, that's my personal opinion.
Well, that goes back to the whole Norm Abrams thing. You know, the New Yankee Workshop. When people used to start chiming in about, yeah, sure, Norm, if I had all those nice tools that you had, I could do it too. But the point you're making is, you know what, you don't have to have all those nice tools to do what he's actually doing. Now, granted, it may take you a little bit longer, and you may have to be a little more careful what you do. But,
struggle a little bit more.
Yeah, but you can still do it. Don't tell me that he can do that because of the tools he owns. That's not right. That's wrong.
Yeah, I know a lot of us envy, but there is a difference between the word envy and jealousy. So I think a lot of us envy those guys, but we're not like, you know, I can't do it without it.
Well, it's like
I don't think any of us here would turn down a high-quality tool if somebody gave it to you or you could afford it, you know? That's the difference, but the way some of these guys bash on these tools, it's like, I wouldn't own that if it was free. Really? Really? That's a great tool.
That's
I mean, really, if Festool will come to me and say, hey, we want to sponsor your show or whatever, you know, the Black & Decker is going back up on the shelf.
Well, you know, it comes down to this too. You know, if I want to do a floating tenon, I can do it with a doweling jig and some hand chisels. I can do it.
Yeah.
I can make my own floating tenons that way. But I don't want to do that because that's work. So now I can't afford the Festool. Well, this guy has the Festool Domino. Oh, I hate you, dude. You got the Festool Domino.
Yeah.
It's so easy. And I'm over here struggling trying to use a doweling jig, and I don't know what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. I'm pathetic, whatever. You know, but if somebody bashed on a tool that I had, I take it as an achievement almost. And that sounds kind of, I don't know, like a braggart, I guess. But if I've worked hard for the money or the sponsorship for that tool, I'm going to be proud of whatever responses.
Oh, yeah.
Positive.
But yeah, but there's a difference between congratulations, I'm envious, and you're a butt monkey because you got a better tool than I am. You know that.
Well, you know, if somebody came to me and I had a domino and they're like, hey, your manhood is inappropriately sized because you have a domino, I'd be like, you know what? It may be so, but I can put out some pretty good floating tenons with it, but still.
And my woman's prettier than yours.
Mine's more figured.
We're not talking about loose joinery there. I'm sorry, Jay. I apologize.
Here we go down that rabbit hole again.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
My tenant's bigger than yours.
You have to make it a snug fit, though. That's all. That matters.
Oh, okay, I can't comment on that. James, you better reel it in because you know I screw it up every time.
Yeah, I'm going to go down the path because it's going to get ugly in a second.
Let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
Not going there.
I think
We start singing Disney songs. It's time to go off the air.
Yeah, Jake, end this right now.
For the final segment of the show, we're going to read a princess bedtime story.
Go ahead, Daddy.
All right, well, we're right there at the time, guys. We've had some pretty good conversation tonight. To all the watchers and followers out there, thank you. Not all of you have negative troll remarks, and the ones that give the good remarks, I sure do want to say thank you. All the devotion that you give to the YouTube and what we do here, I can speak, I'm pretty sure on behalf of all of us, that we thank you for that support. And to the negative ones out there, go ahead, be a negative Nancy if you want to. It's not going to bother us. If y'all have anything else to say, go ahead and say it now or forever hold your peace.
Thank you to all 5 of my fans.
Have a good night.
All the negative comments, you making negative comments, 5 others are going to sit there and say, he can't be that bad, and go watch the video.
Yeah.
Just saying.
We love you.
Thank you.
I wanted to give a shout out real quick, if I could, to Tommy mentioned him earlier, Zach at Envy Woodworks. He's got a big contest going on this month. You can win tons of awesome prizes, including some prizes from myself. So you can check out envywoodworks.com. It's Woodworks with an E, WERKS. He's got tons of prizes he's giving away this month. It should be an awesome contest. So everybody go check it out and enter.
Yeah, this is his biggest contest.
Yeah, this is the biggest one he's doing. So
I have to think on it because I didn't win anything on the last one.
hey, he's got tons of stuff he's giving away. So you go enter.
You can't win if you don't enter.
Yep.
Real quickly, Braxton, you brought up a good point. I talked about speaking about this earlier. If you follow my YouTube channel, you'll know a little bit more about this. But for the people that are venturing in off of the Facebook and word of mouth and stuff, after the first of the year, I'm going to be hosting a challenge. And the challenge is for turning a pin for a service member that is currently deployed. And I'll have more information on my channel to come. We're looking around the second week of January to start that challenge. And your pin's going to be judged on, there's going to be 3 different judging criteria for the pins that are entered. The first one will be the overall most creative way the pin was turned. That'll take first place. Second place will take the most creative video. And third will be just the best design period of the pin. The idea is to try to get creative thinking and your artistic ability going on these pins. What's going to happen is the wood maker is going to turn the pin. He's going to do a video, and if he is in support of the troops, which the majority of us here in America are, will give them a little bit of encouragement during the video. And once they turn the pin, they're going to write a letter to that service member giving them encouragement. You'll send both said pin and letter to me, and I'll send those out in one big care package to a unit that is deployed overseas. And I'm also going to send them the link to the video of your pin so they can watch you making this. So if you enter into this contest, go ahead and keep that in mind. The service member is going to see exactly how you made this, and try to be creative there and give me your thanks if that's what you want to do. And like I said, that's going to start the second week in January, and I'm going to run it for a month. And then after a month, everybody will send them in, and I'll ship them off. So
Awesome idea.
Yep, sounds awesome.
the idea is to try to get everybody, even if they have a lathe or not, to turn it. There's some pretty good videos on YouTube of the drill press lathe. I've looked at it, and I don't know exactly how you would turn a pin on it. I'm still trying to figure that out, and I'm going to play around with that some more and hopefully put out a video there. And, yeah. So if you can...
Where there's a redneck, there's a way.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, get Izzy Swan involved, and we'll put a driller use. Turn a pin.
Hey, Moy, if you need a lathe, you come on over. You need to get in on it, though.
I'm in. I don't have a lathe, but I'll figure out a way.
I'm 40 minutes away.
But the idea of the first place is for those people that, I know this is going to be a little bit biased, but maybe the ones that don't have a lathe and create some kind of apparatus to actually turn this pin will probably take first place. And that's not to discourage anybody, but it's just the honest truth that I want to see the most creative way to turn a pin and go from there. And then the second is going to be the video, so I want people to put a lot of thought into the video for this. So
I got to find me a muscular hamster.
Yep.
Don't go there, folks. I was talking about power.
Charles?
I was talking about power.
Again, you and I really need to talk, man.
Back to the corner, Charles.
Bloody hell.
All right, we're about 10 minutes over, but that's okay because it's our show and we do what we want. But
My God.
I want to say thank you to the panel members. Thank you to the ones that are watching, the ones that will watch in the after this is posted. Again, to our viewers and our subscribers, thank you. If you haven't subscribed to these guys' channel, go ahead and search for them. Subscribe to them. Everyone on this panel makes great videos. They're great people. And until next week, hope you have a great one. Spend time with your family and get ready for the Christmas holidays. We'll see you around.
Y'all come on back.
Take care.
See ya.